When I got back to the company headquarters, there were several customers' computers that were quite badly broken. I forgot to eat lunch and threw myself into work. Because the computer was quite badly broken, it took a lot of time. While I was working, a new girl from the sales department brought me a lunchbox and smiled and said, "Take a break and eat. Why are you so absorbed? You can eat and work later." I looked up and smiled, admitting that this girl was quite pretty. Her skin was fair and rosy, especially her high nose looked very Western. I softly said, "Thank you. Wait for me to work a little harder and then eat. The work is almost done." When the girl heard me say that, she put the lunchbox down beside her and smiled attentively, watching me work and fix the computer. Her big round eyes looked intently, making me want to laugh too. While working, she talked. "Are you from the new sales department?" "Yes, I'm a fresh graduate. I saw that the company was recruiting employees, so I applied here and was accepted into the sales department." "So, do you know anything about computers that you're looking so intently?" "Heh, I know a little bit, but I'm not very proficient. I heard from the guys in the company that you're one of the best employees in the company, right? No wonder many customers come and just want you to make computers for them. There's nothing special about you, it's just normal. It's just that everyone flatters you too much." I smiled and continued working. After finishing assembling the machine, I also took the lunchbox that the new student at the company bought for me. When I handed the lunchbox over, I didn't forget to ask her, "What's your name? I'm a new employee, so I don't know your name." "Oh, my name is Sophia. Everyone always teases me that I'm skinny Sophia, even though I'm not skinny, right?" I looked at her figure again. I admit that she wasn't that skinny, but she was only a little better than a high school student. After eating a spoonful of rice, I didn't forget to ask, "Oh, have you eaten yet? Let's eat together for fun." "I've eaten, you should eat. I admit that you're really diligent. Everyone has gone to eat, but you're still busy with the computer." "Well, I'll try to finish it. I still have a lot of work to do in the afternoon. Doing this kind of work doesn't take much effort." I ate and talked while also admiring Sophia's body. I admit that Sophia is not tall, but quite white. Especially her crooked teeth are quite charming. Her red lips look delicious. Just want to bite them. Her 2 grapefruits are not very big, but the tight waist shirt also shows them off a bit, so they look extremely seductive. Especially Sophia is wearing a black bra inside, so it is even more seductive. I was talking and almost finished eating the lunchbox when Sophia stood up and smiled and said, "Wait for me a moment. I will go get this." Before I could say anything, Sophia also stood up and quickly walked outside. A moment later, she came back with some tangerines in her hands. Sophia smiled and said, "You're done eating. Eat these tangerines, they are very sweet." I smiled and took the tangerine, peeled it and ate it, not forgetting to thank Sophia. After eating and chatting for a while, it was time to work. Sophia went back to the sales department, while I continued to do the remaining bad things. David and James came back from dinner and saw some tangerines on the table, so they gently picked them up and peeled them and ate them deliciously. When I saw that, I said, "Do you know whose they are that you're eating them so deliciously? Everyone eats them, and you're the only one here, so if they're not yours, then whose are they? Are you regretting these tangerines for your younger brother? Why did you buy them and leave them here today?" "I didn't buy them, Sophia. The new employee in the sales department brought them over for me, and she even brought me a lunchbox." When I said that, James and David immediately gathered around me and asked, "Which girl? Which girl? My brother is really good, just sitting in one place and girls follow him, but here I'm out of breath and no girl comes. How boring." "Oh, tell us, what does she look like? Is she good looking?" "It's normal, a bit short, but the skin is white, really white. The face is a bit Western. Anyway, if you want to know, just go to the sales department and ask Sophia. I finished another machine here and then brought the tools with David to the game shops to report the broken status. David sat on the back of my bike and said, "If I had known, wouldn't you have seen it at noon? What a pity. It would be best if I had to carry my bag and follow you. What else would I be able to admire and learn from your talent?" I'm not as pro as you think. It's just that if I want to flirt with girls, I need to be a little charming, talk well, and then I can flirt with them. In the process of flirting, I need to take care of them, and that's success. Okay, I'll learn from your experience, but does the sales department have a lot of new girls transferred in? You guys should try to learn from their experience and see how it is. There are only 4 or 5 girls, they're probably pretty. Sophia is like that too, isn't she? While talking like that, David and I also went to the game shop. The computer here had some broken chips, so we replaced them and turned them back on, and the computer worked fine. The owner didn't know, so we also made a little more money. When we got back to the company, David smiled and said, "I admit that your hot computer is really bad. The owner of the shop believes in making money like this. Let's make a fun to have a party at the end of the month. How about that? What do you need? If we have money, we can just go out for a beer. Why worry? We can get paid at the end of the month and go, what's there to discuss? It's fine like that. Let's go back to the company and see how those girls are doing." When David and I got back to the company, it was almost time to end the day. David was eagerly talking to the new girls, while I went in to do the last test of the machines I had just worked on in the afternoon. A while later, the customer arrived. I delivered the machine and got a small commission. I cleaned up the room a bit and then went home, feeling secretly happy because I got to go out with Ruby tonight. When I got home, I took a shower, put on a decent outfit, and drove to Ruby's house. Ruby saw me coming, smiled brightly, and opened the gate for me. "Have you been home from work for a long time that you're so early?" When I heard Ruby say that, I smiled and teased her. "Again, you don't want me to come early, do you? Maybe your clothes aren't dry yet or something." When I said that, Ruby glared at me and said, "Who said that? You're only good at joking with me. You just thought I came home late from work. Not this early. You're just wronging me, and I've already dry cleaned your clothes." I smiled and went inside the house with Ruby. The scene was still the same, but it looked incredibly beautiful. Ruby wore a street outfit and looked extremely pretty. Her 2 grapefruits were now even more exposed because of the tight shirt. The upper chest area was exposed because of the shirt with a wide neckline, making Ruby look even more provocative. Moreover, her white calves made me unable to bear it. Her soft hair touched her shoulders a little, further accentuating Ruby's gentleness. When I went in, Ruby softly asked, "Have you eaten yet? If not, let's go eat with me, okay?" If that's the case, there's nothing better. You're truly blessed to be with such a beautiful person. You're teasing me again. What are you doing being pretty? Being ugly doesn't have anyone following you. Like other girls have lovers, but you don't have anyone. You're still alone. It's just that you're too picky. A pretty girl like you would have a lover anywhere. Let's go eat. I smiled softly and went to eat with Ruby. Ruby sat behind me. I gently raised my hand to hug Ruby's waist. Ruby's gentle scent made me feel so happy that I couldn't bear it. Gently resting my chin on my shoulder, Ruby whispered, "I wish I had someone to hug like this every night. Being alone is so sad." "Then you can hug me. Being alone has many good things. Not everything is sad. Being alone is comfortable. No one bothers you, and you don't bother anyone either. But when you're sad, there's no one to talk to." We chatted for a while and then arrived at a seafood restaurant. I invited Ruby in and ordered a few dishes. The enticing aromas of the food wafted out from the kitchen, making both Ruby and I feel even hungrier. Ruby smiled and said, "My stomach is rumbling. Why does it smell so good? Order." Okay, let me order. Let me treat you to dinner today, okay? Ruby smiled slightly, revealing her dimples, and ordered the food. The dishes she ordered were incredibly delicious. After a while, the restaurant brought them out. Ruby and I were so hungry that we ate them right away, especially the hot pot. The aroma was incredibly delicious. We were so busy eating that we didn't even bother to invite each other. After a few bites, we looked at each other and burst out laughing. Although it was small, it was enough to attract the attention of the whole restaurant. Ruby gently covered her mouth and said, "It's funny to see you eat so naturally, but it's fun." "Well, I'm funny too, not just you. Eating popcorn is like starving to death in 1945. I said that and quietly picked up food for Ruby. We ate and talked until the meal was over. Ruby smiled and stood up and said to me, "Honey, the food here is really good. When we have time, can we come here again?" "Okay, as long as you like it." "Then let's go have a drink now." Ruby didn't say anything but just nodded. I paid the bill and went out for a drink with Ruby. Ruby and I went into a bar and sat down to drink together. Under the dim light, Ruby's face looked even prettier, with a little alcohol in her body. Her rosy cheeks looked even more attractive. I gently held Ruby's fingers with my hand and admitted that Ruby's hand was really soft. It was soft, but not childish, like alcohol. Ruby liked holding my hand, but she bowed her head shyly because she was embarrassed. I whispered just enough for Ruby to hear, "Can you be my girlfriend?" When Ruby saw me propose like that, she didn't say anything more, just smiled and bowed her head. After talking about love for a while, I moved on to work and some social issues. Ruby whispered to me, "I didn't think you were so knowledgeable, but since you know everything, I'm afraid of you." "What's there to be afraid of? I didn't do anything to you, hey. What's wrong with letting your lover do it?" "Men are really good at that. You're already thinking about it. Aren't you afraid that I won't be your lover anymore?" "Ah, what's there to be afraid of? If you agree, then you won't stop being my lover because of something childish like this. And I think the way you talk is comfortable. How can you be angry with me?" Ruby didn't say anything but just smiled at me. We talked for a while, and it was already late. I whispered to Ruby, "Let's go home. It's getting late." Ruby didn't say anything but just nodded. We got to the car. Ruby hugged me and slowly rubbed her hand on my chest. I drove while enjoying the pleasant feeling of Ruby's fingers. Soon we were home. Ruby got out of the car and I told her, "Go home and sleep early. You have to go to work tomorrow. Don't stay up too late." "I know. It's dangerous to drive at night. Why don't you come to my house and rest? You can go home tomorrow." I didn't think the situation would be so easy, but hearing Ruby's invitation, I couldn't bear it, so I drove the bike into the house. Ruby followed me and smiled, saying, "Be good like that. I love you." I drove the bike into the house and hugged Ruby tightly in my arms. Ruby also happily put her arms out to hug me, but also slowly rubbed my back and said softly in my ear, "Slow down. Why are you hugging me so tightly? I'm a bit suffocating. Be gentle." "But I like you to be in my arms like this forever. I like it like this." "But you have to let me take off my clothes first." I had no choice but to let go of Ruby's soft body. Ruby quietly walked upstairs to her room. I followed her. Seeing that, Ruby said, "Why are you following me? I'm going upstairs to change clothes. I'm not going anywhere." "Can't you watch me change clothes? I just want to see how your body is. It's nothing." Ruby saw me say that and smiled and glared at me, but she didn't stop me anymore. I walked into Ruby's bedroom. The pink bed and all the furniture were pink, so it looked very warm. I smiled and said to Ruby, "Are you a fan of pink or something? Why is there so much pink?" "Yes, in general, pink is my favourite colour. Ruby said as she opened the closet to take out her clothes to change. The soft curves of her body gradually appeared before my eyes. The light pink bra revealed her fair skin, looking extremely beautiful. Below, Ruby was also wearing a pair of pink panties, but darker and tight around her round hips. Ruby's legs weren't very long but were slim and small, so they looked very pleasing to the eye. Her soft hair gently falling down her shoulders looked even more provocative. Unable to bear the restlessness inside, I reached the climax, gently moved closer, and put my arms around Ruby's waist. Ruby didn't say anything but just whispered to me, "Let me put on some clothes first. I'm cold like this." "If you're cold, let me hug you to keep you warm. Why are you afraid of being cold? Maybe you'll hug me warmer than if I put on clothes." I can only justify that no one can compare to me. That's me. I gently tightened my arms a little more, and then raised my hand to slowly rub Ruby's 2 grapefruits. Ruby's age was not very big, but she was extremely firm, especially the top part, which looked white and plump. Ruby saw me doing that and must have liked it, so she closed her eyes. I explored the outside of her bra a bit, then slowly put my hand inside. The soft and warm feeling of Ruby's skin made me extremely excited. After standing for a while, I gradually pulled Ruby onto the bed and gently took off her bra, and I started to act. While doing it, I asked Ruby, "I guess you've done this a lot, right?" "Not a lot, it's normal. To tell the truth, I've been doing this since I graduated from high school. My boyfriend said it was fun to do so, so I did it. It's nothing." "So how was it the first time? Can you tell me?" "It was normal, but it hurt a bit. It hurt at first, but later on, I really liked it. My boyfriend did it enthusiastically and with great stamina." When Ruby told me that, I didn't say anything more, just smiled and slowly took off all the clothes on my body. My little guy was already strong and majestic in front of Ruby. I found it strange that at first Ruby seemed to hate her boyfriend so much, but now she's like that, so I asked more. "Why did you say you hated your boyfriend a lot, but now you say you like your boyfriend to do it?" "Oh, that's my first boyfriend. I dumped him, not him. And the guy I just said I hate is the second guy. To be exact, he just used me. What kind of person do you think I am? But if you let me do this, then I'm a good person, right? I see that the way you treat your colleagues and customers, or at least me in general, is good. I like it like that. Or are you criticizing me for this and that? That's not what I meant. I'm this beautiful. How could I dare criticize?" After saying that, I moved closer and slowly hugged Ruby in my arms. Ruby also slowly lowered her hand to caress and fondle my little guy. Now the quiet room only had the ticking sound of the wall clock and the sound of 2 hearts beating strongly in our chests. The distance between us was only an arm's reach, but it also felt like an ocean away. I was in no hurry because every little gesture of Ruby right now was like a slow song that I wanted to enjoy to the end. "Are you cold?" I asked softly. My voice was smaller than usual. Ruby turned to look at me, her eyes slightly confused. "No, I'm fine." But she was clearly trembling. Her hand was placed on her thigh, her fingers tightly intertwined as if to calm down. I answered gently, placing my hand on that hand. Ruby was startled but did not resist, just gently looked up at me. Her eyes seemed to want to examine. "Do you know how long I've been thinking about this?" I whispered, my voice low as if blending into the air filled with the breath of the 2 of us. Ruby did not answer, just gently pursed her trembling pink lips as if struggling with it. I felt her hesitation, but that silence was not a refusal, but rather like she was waiting for something. I slowly kissed her forehead, my eyes not leaving her eyes. When the distance was just enough to feel each other's breath, I gently said, "If you don't want me to, I will stop." Ruby hesitated. Her cheeks flushed for a second or two. Then she nodded, her eyes closed as a silent invitation. In contrast to the time my heart seemed to burst, all the restraint in me seemed to collapse, and what was to come happened. I wrapped Ruby in an overwhelming emotion. Ruby breathed heavily as if she wanted to say something but couldn't say it. I stopped for a moment and looked deeply into her eyes. "I'm here," I said, as an affirmation that she could rely on me, that I wouldn't do anything to hurt her. Ruby smiled. That smile was like light dispelling all doubts. I began to do it rhythmically and gradually increased the speed, feeling the warmth from her body transferred to me. Ruby closed her eyes to let time pass in the sweet silence. 2 hours passed. I poured all the products I had accumulated over the days onto Ruby, and then took her to the 9th cloud. She happily and happily whispered to me, "You make me so happy. It's great. After so many days and months, I can finally be like this. I also love it, and you're still so strong." "That's disgusting." "I'm fine. What's wrong with me?" "It's late at night. Let's go to sleep." After I finished speaking, Ruby nodded slightly. We hugged each other and fell asleep. The next morning I woke up late. Ruby was still lying next to me and slowly reached out to hold the little guy. I gently kissed Ruby's soft lips and said, "Come on, wake up, we're late for work." "Can you stay here with me today? I don't want to leave you for a moment. Stay with me." I thought it was okay to stay with Ruby. There wasn't anything important to do at work today. Smiling slightly, I kissed Ruby again and said, "Okay, I'll stay with you, but I also need to text the kids in the room to get them done." I picked up my phone and texted David at the company saying I was sick, then turned to ask Ruby, "So you're not going to work either? Why are you staying home like this?" "I asked for permission yesterday. I wanted to stay home and pamper you today." "So you don't like me pampering you, do you?" "It's not that I don't like it. I really like it, but I'm so tired that I can't stand it anymore. If you make me do more, I'll probably leave." However, Ruby's charm made me struggle to get up and do another chop. When we finished, we sat hugging each other for a while, then went to take a shower and have breakfast. Ruby looked very charming. We went out and talked until the evening. I went home, and as soon as I laid down on the bed, I fell asleep because I couldn't stand it anymore. Having done it with Ruby only twice made my back ache, and I was extremely tired. The next morning at the office, David and James came up to me and asked, "You must have picked up another girl, right? We know by the look on your face. Tell me quickly, then I'll—" "Ruby, the one in the import-export company I told you about when I came to fix her machine." "Is that you? How are they doing?" "My qualifications in that area are normal. In general, it's not very special, but it's like a bucket full of water." "Okay, when I have the chance, I'll let you work with me, okay?" "But why did you ask for leave? Is she really that bad?" "It's not that bad, but she's close to me. She asked me to stay at her house for fun and to hang out with her. I had no choice but to stay. What else could I do?" We chatted for a while and then went to work together. Today, we worked 2 computer labs for a high school. Only 3 of us went to work, so it was quite tiring. Working from morning to afternoon, the wages and bonuses were quite good. I went out drinking with my friends and still had a few hundred left, which wasn't much. I was wandering around on the street and saw a pretty big stuffed animal store. I stopped by to buy one and went home, intending to give it to Ruu. When I got home, I picked up the phone and called Ruu. When I saw my number, Layla picked up the phone right away. A clear voice rang out. "Oh, hello. What's the matter that you're calling me?" "It's nothing important. I just bought a teddy bear and wanted to give it to you." "Are you home this Sunday?" "Yes. This Sunday my parents will go to Hugh to visit my grandparents, and I'm the only one home." "Remember to bring it to me, okay?" "I know. I promise." After I hung up the phone, I was secretly happy because I could do that with alcohol on Sunday. Soon it was the weekend. I brought the bear to Layla's house. Layla smiled and ran out to greet me. I couldn't help but love her mischievous appearance. With a cute and charming figure, Layla brushed her long eyelashes to make her look even more lewd. Her big round eyes opened and looked extremely beautiful. Seeing that, I gently teased, "Layla, you look like the ugly girl on TV, but not ugly at all. You look so delicious." "This guy is only good at teasing me. Oh my gosh, you bought such a beautiful girlfriend. It makes me want to hug her so much." "I just want you to hug me. Why hug a girlfriend? It's such a pity that I don't give you a girlfriend anymore so that you can hug me. Wouldn't it be more enjoyable?" When I said that, Layla glared at me and said, "Who let you hug me? You're just asking for nonsense. The only thing you can do is be like that. No one can compare. I'm so bored with you. What are you standing there for? Come in and install some new games for me later. I really like to play them. Okay, come in and install them for me later." Layla struggled to carry the bear into the house. I followed behind to look at Layla's delicious figure. When we got inside, Layla also brought me a can of energy drink and offered it to me. When I drank the drink, Layla kept playing with the bear that I bought for her. After finishing the can of drink, I felt a little better, so I whispered to Layla, "What do you want me to install for you? Why do you study and play games so much now?" I didn't install it just to say that I have it. Sometimes I play a little bit. My friends still come over and say that the phone isn't boring and they're very pretty. When will you introduce it to me? If that's the case, then nothing is better. I'll go do it. I went to make a computer for Layla, opened it, and saw some pictures of Layla wearing nothing. Took out the camera to take pictures. Looking at Layla's soft body made me extremely happy. While looking at it, Layla came up and smiled and said, "How do you see me taking pictures, brother? Are they beautiful?" "It's beautiful. It looks delicious. No wonder I can't stand it anymore like this." "So, what games do you like so I can install them for you?" "I like dancing games or PC games, Uncle." I smiled slightly at Layla's preferences, but still installed them for Layla to play. While installing, Layla also sat next to me. The light scent of perfume wafted into my nose, making me extremely happy. I set the computer to auto mode and turned to talk to Layla. "How are your studies these days?" "You're still improving compared to before. Brother, thanks to you, I listened to you and went to school. The teachers were also happy because I tried hard." "Really? Then study well and I'll buy you a gift to remember." "I don't need a gift from you. I just need you to love me. Do you want to be my girlfriend?" "That will have to wait for time. I didn't say I could do it right away. I still have to study, so just finish studying. Can you wait?" I finished speaking and gently pinched Layla's round and pretty cheeks. Layla also smiled and hugged me. I gently hugged her slim waist and slowly rubbed her soft back. The fine hairs on the nape of Layla's neck made me extremely excited. The two small grapefruits touching my chest made me feel even more excited. The more I hugged like that, the tighter Layla hugged me. Not long after, I gently lifted Layla's chin and slowly kissed her red lips. The soft fragrance made me feel so good that I couldn't stand it. And so that day, Layla and I did it together for 2 more rounds. Until the evening I left. Just like that, the days passed by. I kept changing the dishes, from Ruby to Layla. As for David and James later on, they each got a new employee. This was truly a wonderful time for me. I wanted to keep it, as if I wanted it to last forever. My life went on like that. About a year later, I got married to Ruby, and Layla also passed the university entrance exam to pursue her own career and love. Ladies and gentlemen, our story today will stop here. Thank you for taking the time to watch the entire video. Hope that the details and emotions in the story have brought you interesting and meaningful moments. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below the video to let me know your opinion. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any stories in the future. Each of your subscriptions and a like will be the motivation for Jane and the program production team to create more attractive videos. Now see you in the next videos. Wish you a great day.